Hello and welcome to the Reds Report. This is Barnsley FC's longest running podcast. This is Series 10, Episode 2. And somebody said last week, what you need is a bit of punch to your podcast. So we've ditched Steve and we brought with us the new British Commonwealth Super Middleweight Champion. It is, of course, live from Parma, and that's in Mallorca, Callum Simpson. Callum, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, mate. I'm good, thank you. How about yourself?
Yeah, we're good. I'm an Ingamels. Ian, I know you're on the other side of the Pennines. What's it like over there? Because I think Callum is beating us not only in the ring, but on weather as well.
Yeah, he's rubbing it in with the blue sky there. It's miserable and grey over here, as standard.
We've actually just had a storm today and yesterday.
Have you?
Only lasted a couple of hours though, and my earphones aren't working either, so they can come out.
Listen, Callum, we're still buzzing for that fight and what you did for the town of Barnsley and for the sport of boxing, I suppose, a couple of weeks ago. Well, let's rewind the clock a little bit. You're a local lad. Am I right in thinking you went to Holgate School?
That's right, mate, yeah.
Yeah. Was it always boxing you were interested in, or was it sports in general, or who was your idol growing up?
Sorry, me Americano and Miss Sparkling Waters, all right. Thank you. Cheers. So I started. It wasn't always boxing. It started off as football. I actually played for Duddiff Miners welfare until I started when about 7, and then when I just turned 9, my dad became the manager, and obviously I was the only one who could have a shout at when we weren't doing too well. To be fair, it's probably my fault anyway. So yeah, I used to get a bit of a strop on, and then stopped. So I quit football. Then started boxing when I was 9. And then so it's been boxing since then. I went to Holgate. I played rugby for Holgate and a bit of football for them as well. But yeah, just stuck at boxing. Stuck at boxing.
And at one point, then, does that hobby and the boxing and going to the gym? At one point, do you decide to take that to the next level? Because me and Ian were talking before we started recording, and if you look at a footballer, they'll go and they'll get ready on a Thursday and a game, or maybe a Friday or a Saturday, and then they might go out or they might do this, they do some community work. But when boxing, it's a lifestyle, isn't it? I know you're there now when you're enjoying yourself in Parma, but before a fight, your whole lifestyle changes, I suppose, doesn't it?
Yeah, boxing is my life, mate. To be honest, and I think if you want to go find boxing, you've got to live the life, and that's what I do. Like, I'm away in Parma now, and I got here Sunday. I did a 5K Sunday, and I've done a boxing session every morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and this morning as well. I'm training tomorrow. I'm doing a track session on Saturday. Should be training with Conor Ben Saturday, and I'll be training Sunday before I go as well. So everyone thinks, they see me go on holiday after a fight. They think, oh, he'll be on piss up, he'll be doing this and that. But no, literally, mate, it's 7 o'clock over here. No, sorry, 8 o'clock over here. I've got my sparkling water. I've got a decaf Americano. And so like I said, I live the life, mate. I live the life. I know a lot of boxers don't, but for me, I think it's important. Like, I want to go to the top, and the only way I'm going to get to the top is by doing that. Don't get me wrong. I've been on a few lads' holidays when I was younger. Plenty of nights out when I was younger and stuff. Been on Wellington Street a couple of times for God knows whatever time in the morning. But yeah, I'm not really. I'm not a drinker out anyway, so it's not that I miss anything. But yeah, like I said, I've a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifices made to get where I am today. Yeah.
I was just going to say, Callum, we were talking off air about that, and I remember seeing Ricky Hatton, and he'd look immaculate in the ring, and then he'd go on he'd go Tenerife or wherever and just become a bit of a blob, wouldn't he, really? But then to turn it round again and become so fit again, we could only wish for willpower like that. Is it something that comes easier for you? Is it like, I know you say it's your life, but it must be. Is it something that comes easy for you, or is it really every morning to get up and do it, or is it something to get so fit and ready for a fight?
Like I said, obviously, is it like I say, it's a lifestyle, and but yeah, I think the dieting's probably. I love my food. I'm a massive foodie, so that's probably the dieting is obviously a hard part of it. When you've had a grueling training camp or you had an hard day training, doing 2-3 sessions a day, and you're absolutely starving at night, struggling to get to sleep. It is hard, mate. Yeah, it's very hard, but I think because it's for me, I've got it's not like it's an option. It's not, oh, I might do this, I might do that. It's not even an option to even eat certain things. Like when I'm in camp, obviously, it's not an option to even to do certain things or don't even enter my mind. Obviously, when I'm out of camp, like now I'm in Parma, but I'm still stuck on my diet over here. My girlfriend's actually training for a bodybuilding, a bikini competition, which is next week. So she's literally, we've not, I think I've eaten out once and I got a chicken salad. Other than that, we've had to book an apartment with a kitchen there. So we've both been cooking our own food. And it's been taking it to the gym with us or taking when we're going on walks and stuff. But yeah, like I said, it's a lot of, like I said, it's a lifestyle. But for me, the diet's probably the hardest thing. Like I said, I'm a big foodie. Might get a pizza tomorrow, treat myself. I spoke to a nutritionist. He said, yeah, get a pizza, enjoy it. Don't make yourself feel bad from it. But yeah, don't get me wrong. After some fights, I've put a lot of weight on, too much weight, and it's been, you've obviously had to train harder or diet harder through the camp. But again, like I said with Ricky Hatton, he was growing up. He used to put like 4 stones up. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, thank you, cheers, mate. Like he used to put on like 3-4 stone after a fight. I don't put that much on. See, he used to be very bad. Yeah, but like I said, think how much more he could have done if he did live the life more. He didn't go out drinking and doing whatever else he was doing. But yeah, like I said, I want to be able to look back at my boxing career and think that I've done my best and tried my best. I don't want to look back and have any regrets, thinking, oh, what if I'd done this? What if I'd trained harder? What if I'd eaten better? What if I didn't put too much weight on? What if so I want to look back, whether it's in 5 years, 10 years, whenever my career's finished, I want to look back and just know that I was the best version of myself and not have any regrets.
Fair play.
Obviously, we don't even know that much about football to have been going 10 years, but boxing, we know even less. Just explain to us how it works. So you are the new British Commonwealth super middleweight champion. Do you now have to defend that? Can people now challenge you and you have to take that fight? Are you now looking for the next step up? What is in the sort of like short term, i.e. the next 5-6 months, what can we expect?
Yes, so like I said, I won the British and Commonwealth title. I'm already the WBA Continental Champion. So with the British title, if you want to win it outright, you've got to defend it 3 times. Twice, there can be a voluntary defence. So I can kind of pick and choose I want to fight. And then one of them has got to be a mandatory defence, which the British Box Board of Control selects someone who they think got themselves in a position to fight for it and deserve a chance to fight for it. Which when I fought Zach Chelly, I was the mandatory challenger. The British Boxing Board of Control. So we applied for it and they said, yeah, we agree. You've done whatever you've done so far in your career and you deserve a shot at it. So I think next year probably will be a voluntary defence. I'm going to try and there's a few names that are being mentioned, but I've said that for me, I want to win the British outright. I could just vacate and say, right, I've won it once. I want to move on to something else now, but I want to do it the traditional way and I want to win the British outright. I want to prove that I'm the best in Britain and I want it to be undeniable. And at the minute, people got different opinions. You can say, oh, I think this guy's better than Callum or this guy's better than Callum. But I want it to, in the next 3 fights, at the end of them, I want everyone to be able to say, Callum's the best. Yeah, undeniable. And then I want to push them to European level. So the next 6 months for me, ideally, I'll have 2 fights in that time. One maybe a voluntary defence, maybe another one maybe a mandatory defence, the British Boxing Board of Control. So I want to get out at least once before the end of the year. Twice if possible. Like I said, my weight's good. I'm still training out here. So if boxer ring me and say, "Oh, you've got a fight next week," I'll be like, "Yeah, let's go. I'm good. I'm good to go. No problem at all." Which obviously it's not going to happen, but yeah, any time from October onwards, I reckon I'll be able to fight. Well, they'll have a date for me. So I've got a few meetings when I get back. Speak to a manager and see what's available for me. So yeah, next be a defence for the British. Early next year, defence, number 2 defences, and then end of May we'll be selling out Oakwell Stadium for a European title shot. That'll be happening, mate, 100%.
Oh, I can't put in words. I think we all love the town, don't we? For various reasons. Yeah. We're all in love with the football club, and even when it doesn't go well, they turn up in the thousands and they sing the songs and they buy the shirts and they do everything else. I think what you did as a local lad and a Bardsley fan. I was in Ingermells already, so I watched it on TV. I was set with tears in my eyes, partly because I wasn't there and I wanted to be part of that atmosphere, but partly because it can. I've watched the big fights, when they're in Saudi Arabia or whatever, and it's the music that creates an atmosphere. The people there, I mean, does that, as you did the walk in front of the East Stand to go to the ring, does that affect you? Does that pile the pressure on thinking, shit, I've sold this out, now I better deliver? Or is it for you, Callum, and you just do what you were trained to do and that was sort of out of your mind?
Well, one thing you mentioned there, it's the music normally that gets people going, but for my ring walk, I couldn't even hear the music. the atmosphere was that good, mate. It was unreal. Like I heard the song come on, and then normally there's a certain part where the beat drops and I start walking. And I actually my mate walking me out, my mate rapping me out called Mace Smales. He's from Darton actually, local bands lad. So I've come out to his song past 10 times, and I asked him to walk me out. Sky agreed to it and stuff, and he set off walking. I was like, "What is it? Is it go time now? Am I supposed to go now?" I didn't even know. I couldn't even hear it when they announced me. I couldn't hear it, but yeah, the atmosphere was unbelievable, mate. Absolutely unbelievable. And I spoke to quite a few guys that are quite high up in Sky, Boxer. They've been to all the big fights at the MGM Grand, all in Las Vegas fights, all the fights in Saudi, the Wembley fights, and a few of them said to me, even Adam Smith, who's, I don't know if you know Adam Smith, he's the voice of Sky Sports Boxing for many, many years. Yeah. He actually sent me a message the next day saying, "Callum, the atmosphere is probably the best I've ever heard and I've ever been to," and which is a big compliment for our town and from someone coming from Adam Smith himself. That's it does mean a lot, and yeah, unbelievable. But yeah, like I said, when you said in terms of pressure, no, mate. Honestly, I've asked that question all week, all in the lead up, and no pressure at all, mate. For me, it's I've been doing this since I was 9. For me, I'm living my dream. It's unbelievable. It's the feelings like, when like the day before you go on holiday. That's how I can describe the feeling. Like see you both nodding, like that feeling. the day before when you're packing your bags for Ingermells, the day before, you know what I mean. You got having a long weekend at Ingermells. But yeah, that's what the feeling's like before the fight. It's more of it's not nerves. It's an excitement, looking forward to it. Because I trained so hard and I worked so hard to get to where I've got to and where I'm going to be going. For me, I enjoy it. I try and just take my time with it, enjoy every moment. And yeah, a lot of people, like, again, and then in my career, I want to be able to look back and think, "Oh, yeah, I enjoyed that." I don't want to look back and think, "Oh, this is all gone in a flash. I didn't enjoy it. I was so nervous and scared." So yeah, for me, it was just I embraced it, and yeah, I loved it, mate. You look at my face in the ring walk. You can. That's not a nervous kid there.
Ian, I know you wanted to.
Yeah,
we went through the questions earlier. Go on.
So I asked a couple of lads who are into the boxing now. Forgive me if I get some of this wrong, but one of the questions we wanted to pose to you was there's a guy, is it Canelo Alvarez?
Canelo Alvarez, yeah.
Is he ranked number 1 by every organisation apart from the IBF?
I think he's a current unified world champion. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think the IBF you have to vacate it. Yeah, but yeah, he's ranked number 1. Yeah.
So the question is, how he's 27 now. How do you see yourself climbing the ladder of the various world ranking bodies, and how long do you think it'll take you to potentially get to the world title?
So Alvarez is ranked number 1. I know that on BoxRec I'm ranked. So he's ranked number 1 on BoxRec. I'm ranked 20th in the world on BoxRec. With the WBA, I'm ranked 15th. So for me now, it's a case of just keep on pushing on. That I said this time last year. I did an interview with Sky, and jokingly I said, "Oh, we'll get Oatwell." I jokingly said, "Oh, we'll get Canelo fighting at Oatwell next year." And people on Twitter took it serious, like, "Oh, you'll never get a fight at Oatwell, never mind Canelo." And a year later, we're fighting at Oatwell. Yeah. So you never know. Another year, I might be fighting Canelo. But for me, I think probably I said 2 year. I'd say next year I want to be European. Well, yeah, this year win the British outright. The next year, European, couple of defences, and then for me, a push on to world level. So yeah, I'd say a year and a half, 2 years till I'm world level challenging for them belts. I'll catch Canelo on the slide when he's on his way out. I'm at mincemeat of him. Again, get that. Oh well, why not? Yeah. He always says that he wants to fight in England, so let's get him down in Tarn.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, and then we'll get you on as the undisputed champion then, won't we?
That's it.
And I've seen, obviously, there was a lot of press before the match and after the match as well, and we're really grateful you came to join us here this evening.
Yeah.
But it's you in the ring, but there's a team around you as well, isn't there? You're talking about your training, nutritionist. So just on a day-to-day basis, besides you training and sparring, how many people are around, such like Team Simpson, that have made all this possible? Because it's a bit like the football team, isn't it? We talk about the 11 players, but we never talk about the kit man. So who is around you and sort of guiding you and helping you along your way?
So day to day, it's myself and my trainer, Mark Hurley. I probably see him more than I see my dad, than my girlfriend, my brother, family. I see him more than I speak to him more than I speak to anybody else. So day to day, it's Mark, and then my managers, Kevin Marie, You know, he's done great with me. You know, I signed with him after my third. I signed with him just after middle of COVID, just after COVID. And you know, we spoke to a few managers, told them what we wanted, and you know, everything that he said he delivered. We call him the postman. He always delivers. You know, within 12 months, I had 7 fights. Obviously, finished with the Central Area title, and then I just had the contract with Sky Boxer lined up. Since then I've had another 4 fights, won them all. Current WBA, British, Commonwealth champion. So yeah, that's my team. My main team's Mark Haley and Kevin Marie, but I've also got Jimmy first and Wayne Woods who help in my corner as well.
And I have to say, I can't say early days but I remember you boxing on Sky, and it was like the undercard. The support from Barnsley, because I know, for instance, and I don't want to miss some out because it wouldn't be fair, but I know, for instance, the Eversley Reds travel, you know, all over, but the support, it's almost like because you are from Barnsley and you like Barnsley Football Club, the football supporters have become boxing fans as well because they've followed you all over as well, haven't they?
Yeah, that's it, mate. I think my first 10 fights, it was more, you know, I was fighting in some fights. I had one fight in Barnsley, then the rest was in like Sheffield, Leeds, Oldham, and Manchester. Yeah, I think but our first 10 fights took up them, and then I didn't really get as much support from, you know, like your more Barnsley fans until I got signed with Sky. So obviously I got massive exposure from there. I won my area title actually, and I got asked to go on the pitch at half time. That was just after my 10th fight before I signed with Sky. So it was then when people started to know about him more. And then from them, it's just been like a snowball effect. You know, Roy Richardson at Eversley Reds, he's does loads of tickets for me, puts coaches on, travels to Manchester, London twice. My granddad Tom Silcock for the East Dean Reds, again, sits in with him. He sorts all tickets out. He gets the orders in, delivers them all for me, and puts the coaches on. Because they do this week every weekend, you know. Every week they're at away games, so for them they're used to it. But it's nice for them to be able to mix it up. But yeah, like I said, Roy Richardson and my granddad Tom, they helped me out massively, and obviously everyone just from club as well. You know, even like the staff at the club. Yeah, they're all amazing, mate. And obviously it's great for me to be able to do this for Barnsley as well. You know, I'm really proud of it.
It's because it's your career, isn't it? It's your lifestyle that you've chosen. That's going really well. But I think in a time where people, you know, there's lots of unrest at this moment all over, and we've seen that in and around Barnsley as well. And it's almost like what you're doing is it's like unifying everybody again to get behind the town, the club, but you as a person as well. Listen, I'm pretty sure the sun is about to go down in Parma. You're there, probably with your girlfriend. I'm sure you'd rather sit holding her hand.
Till I've come out on my own for this, mate. I've come out on my own for this. I've ditched it for you, so I'm in trouble.
Well, you said she's bodybuilding, so if she didn't, it's Ian that's organised all this.
Yeah, that's it. She's coming for you, Ian.
Oh no, come off.
Listen, Callum, go, and when I say enjoy, you know, within reason, go and enjoy the last few days that you've got there. We massively respect you taking time out, you know, on an evening, on a Thursday evening, come and talk to us. We cannot wait to see what's next for you. And you know for a fact that wherever you go, the Barnsley fans and everybody else will be behind you. So thank you so much for joining us. And
no worries, mate. Thanks for having me.
What
I will say before I go, mate, as well, like I said, of the time there's so much unrest and like hard times for everybody and stuff. I've had so many messages since my fight, like ridiculous amount of messages of people saying, you know, the family's been going through a hard time. They've had deaths in the family's been down, they've been depressed, a lot of things, and I've brought light to their lives and to their family and brought them all together. And like I always say, it's not. That's why in the interview after I said it's not my journey, it's our journey. There's so many people that are affected by what I'm doing, and that's why I take massive pride in it. And you know, it's only going to get bigger, mate. It's going to get bigger. So yeah, thank you for everyone that supports me. Thank you to you guys as well. And yeah, it's going to be big things to come, mate.
Definitely. And I think besides an extremely talented boxer, I don't think I've ever spoken to a more humble and likable person as what we have to. So Callum, thank you so much for joining us. You can now end your connection with us. Go and say hello to the girlfriend, and remember, Ian organised this. Nothing to do with me.
Ian's in trouble. Right. Have a good evening, guys. Take care. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.
Callum. Thank you. Bye. Well,
what a top lad. What a top nice bloke.
it's rare, isn't it? Sometimes you get, you know, the
So
club side of the
genuine.
player, and you can see that the big things will come. And it's like that with him, isn't it? I remember when we were at the Johnston Paint Trophy, I think it was, and we, I'm sure it was then, and he walked past, and he went to school with my son, and people are already, you know, talking about like they knew kind of thing, you know what I mean? And he's just
He's
so
kind
humble.
of it's almost infectious in it, just talking to him and listening to him. He's so grounded as well. And it was interesting, like he was saying about he sounds very mature for his years as well. The way he's talking about he wants to be the best version of himself, and he, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of limelight, and especially now with Sky and his career's really taking off, and he's in the limelight. That, you know, so a lot of sportsmen and women have gone by the wayside, but he seems really grounded, and he you know, he wants to look back and think he's done the best he can. So I think fair play to him for having that level head as well.
100%. Right, we do need to talk a little bit about football because the season has started. We know the season started because we have Mansfield at home on a Friday night at 8 o'clock, because that's normal, and we've had the first round of the Carabao Cup as well. Obviously, Mansfield's Friday night opening match of the season, you know, they all count, but a bit of an awkward one, wasn't it? Because I think, you know, we were hoping for what, better, different. How can we sort of summarize that?
Yeah, it's always a bit dangerous playing a newly promoted side in it early in the season because they're still buzzing. You want to play them later in a few months' time when they're playing on a bad run. And I think they started, absolutely, they flew out the traps, didn't they? And to be fair to them, they played some really good football. We couldn't get near them. They played us off the park for the first 25 minutes. So the game could have got really far away from us. But Clark made some changes, didn't he? Changed the formation. It worked instantly. And I mean, I messaged you when I was at Wigan on Tuesday night, and I messaged and I said, I really like this software upgrade that John Russell's had, this version 2.0, because he's just, and he showed it at Wigan as well. He's just, he just clicked. It's like, where's this player come from? So yeah, it was, and then in the end, certainly in the second half, we had enough chances to win that game, never mind get a point out of it. But sadly, the biggest issue we've got at the minute is we haven't got anybody who can put the ball in the back of the net. Otherwise, we'd have probably won that, 3 or 4-2, I think. So yeah, it was a bit of a topsy-turvy game, but I'm glad football's back anyway.
Yeah, and I think we should put Donovan Pines and Callum Simpson up front. I mean, that's going to scare. That's going to scare a few. The Carabao Cup, it's hard, isn't it? Because sometimes it's one of them that people think like, you know, well, you know, it's a game. It's a chance for some of the younger players, you know. And looking at the team sheet, Aidan Marsh started, Young Nathan started, but also some sort of like regulars, Cosgrove. Again, similar, wasn't it, with the way Wigan sort of came and you know, we weren't firing, and then the second half was just completely different. And again, it felt like maybe not in the same respect or same levels as Russell, but Max Watters, and I know he hasn't put the ball in the net, and I know, you know, he doesn't inspire confidence as a striker, but the work rate, the positive work rate, i.e. chasing balls and everything else, seemed to have stepped up from last season as well.
Yeah, I think he's even gained a yard of pace on last season. He was at it again at Wigan, chasing lost causes, running down the channels, really trying. The criticism was like he had a chance against Mansfield that we thought he was going to put his laces through it, and it was almost like a back pass. And he did similar at Wigan. He had a great chance, and he just didn't have the conviction to hit it, you know, and bury it. But fair play to him. He did, you know, he chased everything, and he looked dead chuffed. He looked really, really happy that he at the end when he got a penalty and stuff. And he's just crying out. It needs to just go in off his backside or something at Lincoln on Saturday, and to get him going. Because to be fair to him, he's really, really putting the effort in. I felt a bit sorry for Aidan Marsh because he chased lost causes and didn't get a sniff. He got no service at Wigan at all, and I felt a little bit for him really because he never stopped working all game. But yeah, it was quite a decent run out, I thought, because we got to quite a few players. Like Pines got 55 minutes. Gent got a good run because obviously he was hooked off in the first game for the formation change. It was good to see Jürgen Nathan have a go. I felt a bit sorry for him because he played quite well for patches in that first half. I think that yellow card, I think if I'm not, well, I'm only presuming Clark was thinking it was a wet pitch, one badly timed tackle and he'd be off. So I think he brought a bit of experience on with Phillips at half time. But for what the good bits he did, I tell you, I wouldn't like to see him go out on loan. I'd like to see him on the bench regularly and seeing a bit of first team action.
It's hard, isn't it? Because if you remember a couple of seasons ago, we had a couple of players, and did they go with it? Was it to Denmark or whatever? And they went to play in was it Denmark? And it was done because they were very promising under 23s, but they needed football for a bit. They were always going to go in our first team, but they needed some men's football. And I think when I look at like a young United, I think that's what's missing almost, isn't it? They you can see the ballers, you can see the ones for the future. I just think, how great would it be, even if it was a short-term loan, like till Christmas, to get some regular games, men's football, week in, week out, get used to the type of characters you're going to be playing, the fouls and everything else, and then bring them back. But again, it shows that there is the conveyor belt of talent. It's still in full swing in that respect. The academy has done really well. Of course, the win at Wigan then brings us a South Yorkshire derby and a decent one to look forward to as well, Ian.
Oh yeah, might end up being on Sky. That looked at some of the fixtures that come out, and I think ours is one of the more standout fixtures. So it was nice. It'd be nice to get a decent crowd, I think, because it was pretty sparse at Wigan, as you'd expect. Really, the first round of the Carabao Cup, they only had one stand open that they didn't fill, and we took a few hundred. So it'd be nice to get a bit of a rocking atmosphere down at Oldwell, and you never know if they play a slightly weakened side and we go for it. You don't know. We might get ourselves through to the next round.
That's a week on Tuesday. Obviously, we host Sheffield United. This Saturday, though, completely different proposition. Last year we struggled with Wigan, Middle Lincoln. Sorry.
Underway.
Yes. How do you see this one going? Early on in the season, and teams very much still, finding that, especially for Barnsley, I suppose, new head coach, new staff, is still looking at what would be if Daryl Clark rang you and said, Ian, what you reckon? What formation would you go with, and who would be filling those places?
He's on blow. I know, Daryl. I'll get back to you. What would I go with? I think he's going to always go. I think his go-to formation's 3-5-2. Although he can change it up. I'd play the new keeper. I think he deserves another game, because not only just the penalty saves, but he made 2 great saves during normal play. Especially there was the one that went across the goal that he looked spectacular, but he had one just after, I think it was just after half time, that they looked like they were nailed on to score, and he saved it. Really good, good block. So I'd pick him. You got to be careful with Pines, whether he's ready for 90 minutes. Even he looked quite good. He looked fresh enough, but you don't want to. I'd love him to start. Don't get me wrong. I'd like to see Lapata start. I thought Lapata played well when he come on as well. De Givene's just, Earl and De Givene, when they're on the ball, they just sometimes stutter a bit and can get caught out. But I think I'd rather have Cotter on the right. Cotter had he could have been on hat trick. Cotter on Tuesday night. He had 2 great chances he put over. I prefer him than O'Keefe. And then, your midfield with Craig, Russell and Connell picks itself, doesn't it? And then you'd have to stick Waters and Cosgrove up front. But yeah, it's a tricky fixture in it. But I just hope some of those strikers can get a goal on Saturday, and they're crying out for it confidence wise. But we got a bit of competition for places in keeper, defence and midfield. It's just up front now. We need some recruits, don't we?
Yeah, you almost feel like saying he needs to play Pines. because he can get us a goal.
Absolutely.
Although we had a bit of a layoff in the middle. In the press conference today, then if you heard it with BBC Radio Sheffield, with Adam Oxley, I believe it was, he said he'll get a tattoo on his right cheek if he gets the double figures.
Hold him to that.
And then obviously the games come thick and fast under. So on Saturday it's Lincoln. Then on Tuesday night it's the Manchester United under 12s or whatever they are in that silly competition. Then it's Saturday again. Then it's Sheffield United again. So it's key, isn't it? Because as the games sort of like increase and the number of matches per week, we're still looking for some, can we say, supplements up front, because we're still a little bit, I wouldn't say light. We've just got nobody in form at the moment, and I think a competition for places will maybe sharpen some of the existing players up front as well. Yeah. Is it the Bristol Street Motors Trophy? Is that one more for or would you agree that we want more for those fringe players that are maybe on the verge of playing for the first team? Because you can't afford so early on the season any injuries or anything, can we?
No. I mean, I know it was illness with Connell last season, but we missed him for large periods of the season, and we don't want. It was right to start Connell on the bench at Wigan, and because you don't want to, the amount of work he puts in, and I think he took him off against Mansfield because he were cramping up anyway. So that competition, I'd be throwing in Jürgen Nathan again. I'd be resting a whole load, or some of the fringe senior players, give them a run out. But yeah, with the Carabao Cup as well, I think really the Bristol Street Motors goes right to the bottom of the pile, doesn't it? And it's a chance for a lot of the fringe players and the academy players to have a run out with that one, I think, and save your main start, because at the minute you can pretty much pick the side, can't you? And so your main 8 or 9 you'd rest for that game in that Bristol Street, whatever it's called.
Just to finish off then, Lincoln away. A bit of a score forecast from you, and the first Barnsley score. I was going to say 3-1 Devante Cole, but I'm not. I'm going to say a well-deserved 1-1, and I'm going to go for Pines as our goal scorer.
Well, you nicked my idea of 1-1.
Say Russell then.
Yeah, I'll go 1-1. Oh God, you could name anyone, couldn't you? Let's hope, and fingers and toes crossed, it's Waters.
It'd be good. It'd do him the world of good, wouldn't it? Because
like I say, it could go in off his arse cheek for me. It doesn't matter, as long as it goes in. It might just set him off. That's all he needs now, because he's putting the effort in. Yeah.
100%. Well, you've been listening to the Reds Report, episode 2, Series 10. We talked to Callum Simpson, a man who is changing the face of boxing, well, definitely from a Barnsley perspective. And of course, we've looked ahead at Barnsley's next few fixtures. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, Steve will be able to join us then as well. And in the meantime, proud to be part of the Talk Sports Fans Network. You can follow us on YouTube and on X, where we are Reds Report _. But until next week, you Reds.
You Reds.